Yeah, visually, Bioshock Infinite was already really impressive, but it really grabbed me at Beach Boys Acapella. Bioshock Infinite. So Bioshock Infinite is the third Bioshock game in the Bioshock series, and it's really a standalone game. You don't have to have played the other Bioshock games to really jump into this game and know what it's talking about. There are a couple of Easter egg-ish type things in the game where fans of Bioshock will be like, oh, I get that, that's cool. For the most part though, it's its own game. You can jump right into Bioshock Infinite. So in Bioshock Infinite, you play as Booker DeWitt. He's a badass, he's kind of broken and damaged, you know, those cool characters that I love. He is told to go to Columbia to get this girl, bring her to us, your debts that you owe from gambling, they're all paid. So like, cool, go to Columbia. Where's Columbia? It's in the sky. Columbia is a floating city in the clouds. It's really impressive looking though. It's like old school 20th century America, you know, boardwalks and empires and all that good shit, but it's floating in the clouds, and I think it's really cool that in the original Bioshock, you go down to this hellish place. Bioshock Infinite, you go up to this heavenly place. The place is really perfect. Everyone's like, oh, good day, mate. How you doing? Popcorn, get your popcorn. Nothing's bad here. Everyone loves everybody. As always, a place that perfect is not really that perfect. It has really dark secrets, and you run into one of those dark secrets, and then everyone starts attacking you, and shit gets real. You're like, whoa! The first half an hour of this game, you're just exploring, like, oh, this is cool. Then it gets violent as shit. After that, shit gets real. And you're like, oh yeah, it's a Bioshock game still. That's right. As for the gameplay in Bioshock Infinite, it's really good. It does have that gameplay style that forces you to find two guns that work for you because you can only carry two guns. Kind of like Uncharted style. What I like about this, though, is usually when games use that style, it's like, oh, here's your two-handed gun, and you have your one-handed gun. Choose any combination of those, but it has to be a two-handed gun and a one-handed gun. Bioshock Infinite, two guns, whatever you want. You want a bazooka and a shotgun, you can have it. A magnum and a pistol, whatever. Rifle, sniper rifle, shotgun, sniper rifle, whatever. As long as it's a combination of two guns, you are all good. And as cool as it is that there are a lot of guns in this game, let's face it, 4 guns really are the ones that matter. The shotgun, the sniper rifle, the carbine, and the hand cannon, because it's called a hand cannon. It's worth having. You will stick to any combination of 2 of those 4 guns. The rest of the guns don't really matter. And of course, you have your scientific magic abilities. These ones are really cool too. You can upgrade them to make them cooler, and they have more abilities that happen with them. Like you have crows that you shoot out at guys. You will use the crow one a lot. It's pretty awesome. But the crows start pecking at them and they stun them, so you can just pick them off. But if someone dies while crows are pecking them, they become crow traps. Then more guys step on the crows and the crows start pecking them. They die. They make more crow traps, which makes more crows. I loved the crows. And yeah, trap isn't just you don't have an ability that's a trap. Every ability, if you hold down the button, is now you can make it a trap. Love that. Good call. And you have these mods, one for a hat, one for a vest, one for pants, one for boots. You get these clothing items that give you different abilities, and they work together in certain combinations to the point where I have a friend who played the game completely differently because he had a different set of clothing combinations than I had. He had a mod where if a guy died from extreme damage, he would stun everyone around him, then he would kill those guys, and they would stun more guys, and they would stun more guys, and it kind of went out from there. I really built up my melee. Melee, you don't select a weapon, it's just a one-button hit, and it's just triangle, bam, melee. But I had mods to where my melee was set up to where I could reach 3 times farther than normal melee, so I would shoot someone, get him down to where I can kill him with melee, hit him with my melee. I had another mod that if I killed him with melee, I got life. And I had a mod that gave me a 40% chance of getting salt, which is pretty much mana when a guy died. So, boom, kill, life, mana. Rinse and repeat. There are so many combinations that you can do that I'm telling you, I could play through the game again, I will play it differently. Replay value, key in any game really. And you ride this sky rail thing. The sky rail's pretty cool. I didn't ride it as much as I thought I would, but it looks like a big roller coaster track, and you can hook onto that and just ride through and start killing guys, do aerial kills. It's a cool mechanic of the game. It wasn't as prominent as I thought it was gonna be, but it still is a cool extra. Now, as for the story of Bioshock Infinite, it's great. It's one of the best you will play in a first-person shooter. Strike that. I'm pretty sure it's the best you will play in a first-person shooter. This guy, this prophet of Columbia, his name is Comstock, he has this girl in the tower, so you need to go to the tower to get the girl. You need to save the princess, ultimately. And I love that about this game. It's an old school, the knight is going to save the princess from the tower that's being guarded by a dragon. Only it's not a dragon, it's this songbird thing. It's a big mechanical bird, and he's scary as shit. When this bird comes at you, you're like, let's run, let's do that. It has some of those Uncharted 2 moments where you're playing through the action scene and it's intense because it's all first person. You feel like you are there. As for Elizabeth, she's awesome. I don't think I'm supposed to have a crush on a game chick who actually doesn't exist, but I do, and her name is Elizabeth from Bioshock Infinite. She's just really fun. It's like, stop being like Natalie Portman from Garden State, but also like Belle from Beauty and the Beast. Adult man, ladies and gentlemen. And she's useful too. She takes care of her own. She doesn't have to be protected. You'll be shooting guys. You'll be like, I'm running out of ammo. She'll be like, hey, I got some ammo, and she'll throw it to you, and you'll be like, that's exactly what I needed right then and there at that time. Thank you for not being a useless game chick, and thank you for being hot too. It's best of both worlds, and and that ain't bad. Bioshock Infinite is obviously the opposite Bioshock game. What makes humans human? What makes humanity humanity? And how dark can it get? It shows the religious aspect to that same psychological spectrum. Bioshock 1 shows what happens if a really ambitious person breaks away from any country to see how far he can advance humanity with science with no rules binding him. Bioshock Infinite shows what happens if someone breaks away in that same way but advances in a religious aspect. Both scenarios end with two things: someone with a god complex, and the rest of us get a sweet Bioshock game. This game takes twists and turns the likes of which you wouldn't even expect in a game like this. One of the most enjoyable things for me was that I went into this game not knowing what the general gist of the game was. So when I played it, I was like, holy shit. And I'm not going to take that away from you guys, which means I'm also not going to talk about the ending of Bioshock Infinite in this video. I do want to make a video talking about the ending of Bioshock Infinite, but being one guy in a one-man production here on my channel, it's difficult to talk about everything. So I would like to, but I don't want to make promises, but I really would like to. I can't wait to play it again. It's one of those games you want to play it again immediately, knowing that you know everything in the game, just for a different experience on that end. It's less survival horror than Bioshock. It's not like that horror game that Bioshock was. It's an awesome first-person shooter, but it's a really good and intriguing story. So you're not like, oh, it lost the whole horror aspect, because the writing and the genius of the storytelling just sucks you in. You're like, I don't care. It's like everything was put into Bioshock Infinite, not thinking about setting it up for a sequel, not thinking if a sequel could happen, but making Bioshock Infinite the best game possible. I love it when storytellers do that. It shows that they care. This is a strong contender for Game of the Year 2013, and I would not be surprised if it wins. Games, they have their work cut out for them for this year. And Bioshock Infinite is awesome-tacular. I can't ruin much for it. I really want to talk more about the game. Trust me on this though, it's awesome. All right, so Bioshock Infinite, have you played it and what did you think about it? Whatever you thought, comment below, let me know. And as always, if you like what you've seen here and you want to see more, click right here to see more.